Hi crafty friends, it's Tracy Hines, aka Nanner Banana, and today we are going to make some really cute little miniature junk journals that are perfect for ornaments, gifts for coworkers, teachers, friends, all the things. And I can't wait to show you how to make these. I made these originally on a collaboration with Angela, the traveling crafter, and Carrie, the paper monkey. We did a live together and made these, and I thought for anyone that didn't catch that, would like to maybe see how to make them again. I went a little bit fast in that just because we had a set amount of time. This way we can take our time, make these, chat while we're making them. This will be a long video because of that, but it should be fun. Also, I used really plain pages for my signatures. Keep in mind, you don't have to do that. You can make this more like how you would any junk journal where every page is different if that's what you choose. I made them to be a little bit quicker, quickly made, and then I thought I would probably use these more like ornaments and that sort of thing. But again, the sky's the limit in how you choose to use these. So I thought I would use some of my vintage. These are cards I got from the Dollar Tree is where I've got these cards from. And I've already made those. So I thought it might be fun to use some of my vintage cards. This is a vintage card. And so is this one. I still need to put some beads on it. But I thought we would make one together here. And I'm debating on, I'm going to look at these and see which one I think would be really fun to make. Because I'm going to give one of these away at my wrap party. I thought it might be fun to do that. Typically, the front and the back are the same, but these kind of coordinate. So I thought it would be fun to maybe do something like that for the front and back. The same with this one. We've got Santa here, Santa here. So you have two different Santas, two different poinsettias. And then on this one, these are so stinking cute. I just don't know which one I like best for the front. Probably the Christmas tree. And then these are the same and can go on the back. They are bigger than traditional cards, so I may not do these today because I've already got everything pre-cut, and I'll save these for another time. All right, so let's get started. The first thing you're going to need, I used a manila folder, and it is, and I kept the, like, so where the spine of the manila folder is, I kept that intact because I used that as the spine for these. This is 3.5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3/4. So 3.5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3/4. All right. And then the next step is to corner round those. Everything I put in here is going to get corner rounded. You don't have to do that. I just like how it looks. I think it makes it look a little more finished. All right. And then the next step is to pick your material. I think I'm going to do this one for now. Let's see here. There's that. And I want to do some red material on this, I believe would be really pretty. So all we have to do is have enough fabric to go on the inside, on the outside, because we're going to put our card over this. All right. Doesn't have to be exact because the card's going to cover up the majority of everything. So as you can see, you don't need a huge amount of material. This spine is 3/4 of an inch. So 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches of fabric is plenty. It's not going to hurt to have more than that though. So I'm just going to use what I have here and not worry about being more exact on that. The next step is going to be to put some glue down. I would use PVA glue if I was able to let these sit overnight, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac, and it dries quickly. It will serve our purposes just fine. Do like to smooth the glue out so it does not bleed through to the fabric. Just put that down, and then you're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the inside. This is really a pretty easy make. I think the part that I found took the longest was doing the little charm, but I think that's also what makes it so cute, especially if it ends up getting used like a Christmas ornament. That's one of my favorite parts of this project. But it does take a little bit of time to do that, and it doesn't have to be as involved as I made mine. I use buttons, beads, and charms. You could just use buttons, you could just use beads. And again, you don't have to put anything down there. That is a personal preference. Okay, let me see how far down this goes so I kind of know where to glue, because I don't want to put more glue than I need. I also want to make that a straight edge. All right, there's that. And let's see, so we're going to go right about there. And we will spread the glue out. I keep wanting to say smear the glue. It's spread the glue. All right. Boy, you guys, if you did not catch my live on Friday night, you'll have to go check it out in true Tracy form. You know, it's got to be a blooper reel or it's not a Tracy video. I had not, so I did a live for this series, and then I didn't do one the next week, and then I did a live this Friday. So I don't know if like having that week off in the middle there, if I just completely forgot how to do a live or what happened, but oh my goodness, it was ridiculous. I could not, I had myself muted and couldn't figure out how to get the volume on, which thankfully I figured it out. I always get on a little bit early just in case stuff like that happens. But yeah, that was ridiculous. It's like, will I ever get good at this? Am I always going to just be a beginner? All right, one of the things I do like to do is go ahead and ink around the edges of everything, just so, I mean, you're not really going to see it, but it just in case you do, it's not going to look like, oh my gosh, she used manila folder. It'll just look nice and finished. So I do recommend inking around your manila folder inside and out. That is personal preference though. You'll see here though as we make these what I'm talking about. All right. Now then, I went ahead and rounded the card edge, the part that goes around the manila folder that's also rounded. Just think it makes it look nice. I apologize for coughing. I still haven't quite got over all of that. I did have a chest x-ray this week and a COVID test. My primary care provider wanted to rule out that stuff to see what might be going on, and just said it was okay to stay on over-the-counter stuff if I felt like it was helping. And I have an appointment this coming Thursday, and we would discuss if we need to do anything from there. typically, when I get a upper respiratory, anything, it lingers and hangs on. It doesn't just go away quickly. So unfortunately, I will probably have it for a bit. And then if it's not done before, by the time spring gets here, it clears up and I'm good. Hopefully it doesn't do that though. Hopefully I get completely over it and it's not an issue all winter. Because I definitely would like not to have that little cough when I'm doing videos. All right. So let me let that dry for just a second before we move on to the inside. Plus it lets me get a drink. You guys will have to let me know in the comments, how are you enjoying this series? Are you finding it likable? Are you making very many of the embellishments, things like that? Just love to hear from you guys and what you're thinking. All right, now then, ooh, that's kind of cute. I like that too. Didn't realize these were double-sided. Are they all double-sided? Yes, they are. Okay. Let's see. All right. I've got to decide what I'm using for. I'd like to use this, but I only see this one. Did I not cut any more of that one? Guess not. Okay. That would be really pretty up against that. But I have this too. So we could do that as an option. That as an option. We've got these as options, which is, and we've got the red ones here. Let's take a look. Definitely not the red. Okay. So I think I am going to go with these pretty diagonal stripes. All right. And again, I'm going to corner around the edge of these and get those glued down. Yeah, in the live we made decorative journal clips to hold our journals open when we're using them to journal or make a layout. They're super easy to make, and I was able to link all the supplies I purchased on Amazon to make them. So if you go watch it and you think you want to make one, you'll be able to hit the links and get the items on Amazon to make them. All right. Okay. Let that dry a little bit, and while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and punch my holes for my where I sew in the signatures. I'm trying to use my words, but they're not coming out. Okay. All right. Okay, good. I have red. Maybe she's red on that one. And I didn't get my awl out, so I will just use a needle to do this. Let's see, which needle do I want to use? So let's try this one. Now you can use like a piece of styrofoam. It doesn't not have to be what I used here. It's whatever works best for you. All right. I just line that up with the top and bottom. And I'm just putting 2 signatures in, and I punch a hole Let me go grab my awl. I thought I had everything I needed, but it'll just take me a second to go grab that. Here we are. I'm back, and mark that down. Blooper number 1 of this video. All right. But I don't let that stop me. If any of you guys are thinking you want to do a YouTube channel, just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, my videos definitely are not. And we all love to see what each other are making and the inspiration that we get from watching what we create, watching each other create. Okay, super easy. When you have the awl, it just goes right through. All right. And back this way if you like. Make those holes a little bit bigger. Makes them a little bit easier to see if you push the awl through a bit more. A little bit easier to get your needle through. I definitely want to use the skinniest needle I've got. Right. Now I need to do the same thing with the signature pages. And the signature pages for these are, let's see, 3 1/4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1/4. So earlier I think I said this was 5 1/4, but it's actually 3 1/2 by 6 3/4. And then this ends up being 3 1/4 by 5 3/4. Hopefully I'm not confusing you too much. We may make another one of these together. I don't think you guys will mind if this video is a little bit longer. And I just line it up. And I use my awl to put my hole in. There we go. Just going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on this. Okay, there's that. That's been done. Let's do this side. You could use coffee dyed paper. I just have these music sheets that were handy, so I grabbed those. But like I said, and you can make each page individual. You can just keep all your scraps and use your scraps to make your signature pages. This would be a great way to use up some of your scraps too, like for the signature page part. Oh my goodness, that is way off. I got that crooked. Wow, struggle bus today. That is not going to get used. One tip I'm going to give you just so you can see is you can ink that edge just a little bit, because you're not going to see it when you sew it in. And that way it shows up really well on your guide that I made for the signatures and where to put the holes. Okay. There we go. Much better. Now it's perfect. Let me get this sewed in. We're going to do, as I'm sure you all know, 3 times the length of this. And we're going to need 2 of those. before I actually sew these signatures in, I'm going to put the eyelet in. I think it'll just make it a whole lot easier to do it now. So let's get that done as well. Some eyelet punch. And let me go grab my eyelets. Blooper number 2. She forgot her eyelets. All right. Got this. Thankfully, I have everything pretty handy. I don't have to go too far to get it. All right. Alright, we will do a white one if I have it. No, I might do gold. Oh, I've got white. Perfect. Right, there's the white. Just put that between where the signatures are getting sewn in. And go ahead and punch your little hole. There we go. And now we are ready to set our eyelet. And you don't have to do that step if you don't plan on having a dangle or you don't plan on using it as an ornament to hang. You wouldn't have to do that step. All right. Let me get my thread and get these sewn in. This is just like doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch for any journal. And make sure it's tight. What is it about small things? They are so cute. So much fun to make. Okay. And then I'm just going to trim it right about there. And sew the other one in. It's Friday evening for me, and I'm trying to get some videos filmed ahead. every weekend in my journal, first of all, I'm a big journaler. Not only do I make journals, but I journal every single day. There's not a day that I don't journal in my journal. And I actually write in it. I do the creative journaling, like where you do a layout. But mostly I use mine kind of like a planner, and that way I don't forget to do things and all the things. And then if something happens that I want to remember, I'll journal about that so I don't forget about the details. And I'll put a photo in here and there. But every weekend or just even a week, I set a thing I'm looking forward to for the week. And it may or may not happen, but I kind of like speak it out. That way, it's funny how when you do that, you do make an effort to make it happen. So like this weekend, I'm wanting to get my videos all filmed tonight and tomorrow, so Sunday I can spend the whole day with my mom. I didn't get to spend any time with her last weekend, and I'm lucky enough to still have my mom and dad. And she loves to go like thrifting. She loves to go to the Dollar Tree, just different things like that. So depending on what she feels up to, I would love to go thrifting, but if she's not up to that, I'll just do our normal Dollar Tree trip because she's always up for that. And get to spend some time with her. And then one of the other things I said I wanted to do was my dad, he walks every single day, like 3 times a day, goes to the gym every day. He is, for 86 years old, he is in better shape than I am, in my opinion. But I put down as one of my things I wanted to do was take a walk with his dog, my dog, and me and him, because we have really fun conversations when we do stuff like that. All right, guys, here it is. It's finished. And then now we are going to add our little dangle, tassel, whatever you want to call it, so we can put some beads on. And I thought it would be fun to go ahead and decorate the beads. If you guys don't mind a longer video, I think it'll be fun to do that. And I believe I just used 3 of these, or did I use 2? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So I did. I just used 2. Okay. Glad I checked, because for some reason I was thinking I probably used more than that. That's all right though. With it being such a little journal, it doesn't take that much really. Come over this way. Is that right? No, I'm going the wrong way. It needs to go out this way. I have a certain way I like my slip knot to go. There's no right or wrong way, but just personal preference. I have a certain direction I like my slip knot to go. I like it to go, I want it to be straight across here on the outside. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to get into my cute beads and things and start putting some pretty stuff on here. All right. Let's see what we got. This is a Santa. We might as well do him. I'm not going to overthink it too much. I'm just going to add some charms and have fun with it, because this is the fun part. Let's see, I had a button, a bell, and a charm. A button, a bell, and a charm, and then 2 charms and a button. Okay, kind of seeing what I did on these other ones. I have some little bells. If I don't have them in here, I can get some, that's for sure. I want to do lots of red if I have it. I think that will be pretty. Definitely want to do one of those. And I'd like to do a Christmas tree on here. And maybe a bell. Alright, I'm gonna go grab my smaller bells, I think. I've got some in here off to the side of me I can use. They're really tiny bells though. That's pretty. We'll use that. Use one of these. Alright, so that's our 4 charms. We've got a couple beads. Let's get some small buttons here. Little bitty buttons I think would be best. So red one. White button. Maybe we'll just do another red. It's the easiest. That's what I'm seeing that I've got the most of here. That's what we'll do. Okay. Imagine getting a group of your friends together and making these on a craft night. Wouldn't that be fun? That's cute too. I'm gonna stick that one on there. Alright, and I am gonna go grab a couple small bells because I do like the idea of putting some bells on there. Blooper number 3. If you're keeping track. There we go. Alright, do we want to do a gold one first, a red one, a green one? I think I'm going to do the green for the contrast up against the red fabric. Then I just like to tie a little knot on that. And then we will move on to putting the button on. If you have any issues with getting these fed through your buttonholes or your charm holes, you can put just a little bit of Fabri-Tac on the end of these strings, and it makes them where they are not hard to do. They're much easier that way. Alright, so there's our first one done. Ooh, that is really far down. I guess I can move my button though so it's more centered. That works. Okay. Next one I want to do is, let's see, maybe we'll do this one next. Cute little red light on there. There's no right or wrong way to do these, guys. Just have fun with it. And I think I will do a green button. Let's see, maybe a gold bell would be pretty. And also, if you do decide to make these to give as gifts, remember presentation can add so much more to a project. So if you found a cute little box to put these in, that would be fun. And if not, a little tiny gift bag with some tissue paper would be pretty. All right, what kind of dangle do I want at the end of this one? I think we'll do the Santa. All right, then I have one more here, debating if I want to do some of the beads. I think I will actually do this pretty red bead. And I think I'll do, got a button I could do, or how do I want to do that? Got a lot of red in that one, don't I? Wonder if I shouldn't do maybe this Christmas tree then, and then do a green bell at the bottom. We have all the things. There's that. That is really cute. And then I think a green bell at the bottom for contrast would look nice. Plus, I love the sound little bells make on dangles. All right, and then let's see if we need to trim anything off our little charm here, because I do like to make it just about the length of the book. Okay, guys, so remember, the sky's kind of the limit on these. You can decorate the inside more if you want, but here's what I came up with for mine. Hopefully that was easy to understand. Please let me know if you're going to make any. I do have a community tab on my YouTube channel. If you go to that, you are able to leave. So like if you make something and you take a picture of it, you can upload that to the community tab, and I can see what you guys make if you make any of the items I'm showing you how to do. I would love that. And I think everybody else would too, because then we can see what everybody's making. All right, guys, let me know what you think. I think these are super cute and adorable. Oh, you know what? I forgot one more thing. I want to put a closure on here real quick. Let me do that. Where is my punch? All right. Almost forgot a step. I'm going to use eyelets in mine. You don't have to, but I'm choosing to do the eyelets. And I'm just going to use some crinkle seam binding. And on this one, I'll do red if I have it. If I don't, which I don't think I actually have red, we'll see what color would look the best of what I have. Okay, get that seam binding on there. See what we've got for seam binding. Excuse me. Got a light green that I'm not super fond of. It works, but it's not my fave. Let's see here. Oh man. Apologies for yawning. I wonder if this would work okay with it. Yeah, I think I like that better than that, so we'll just do this. Just need some type of ribbon. I did use crinkle seam binding on these because I thought it looked nice, but this will work just as well. Same thing to the other side. Gosh, I feel like I've got my workspace just so covered up with stuff. I'll have to clean it off before I show the final reveal. So my little project isn't competing with everything on the desk. Then I'm just going to trim these like so. And there you have it. You got your nice little closure. And you've got your little dangle, and it would make a cute, cute, cute little ornament. And then these are the other ones that I've made. I think are so adorable. These are the ones I've already put dangles on. I still need to put some dangles on these. And then we just made this one together. What do you guys think? Let me know if you think you'll make one. And if you like this little, it's not really an embellishment. This is more of a mini journal or ornament, that sort of thing. And you just put your ornament piece right through here to hang it on your tree. Guys, don't forget to keep it cute, keep it crafty, and keep making something out of nothing. Bye.